need it to be. But I guess if I had a really nice like RV or something, and it was just me, I could do it.
Yeah, but then it's like a house at that point. You have all like the luxuries of.
I mean, yeah.
But like that kind of small amount of space, like it would have to be just me. Couldn't be anybody else.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
Even my spouse. Like I would be like, no, I need some of my own space.
Need some space.
Hey, welcome back to Screen Time. What's the most you've ever lost on a coin toss?
Call it.
The way you said that.
Well, that was Cece.
Yeah.
With the call it. And I'm Josh. And we also have with us Jared.
The coin has no say.
The coin has no say.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a say.
Mm-hmm.
You have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Because all roads in your life led to here.
Yes. Man, that's a great
right.
scene.
So, if you didn't figure it out at this point, or didn't see the title, we're talking about...
Yeah, you clicked on it.
You clicked on it. Talking about No Country for Old Men. So, this is a movie that came out in 2007, rated R, 2 hours and 2 minutes. So, we crossed over the 2 hour mark. Normally, they keep them just a few. So, it was a few minutes longer.
I mean, barely.
But honestly...
With credits and all that.
I mean... I would have watched another 30 minutes of this.
Ooh, I was already couldn't wait to hear what you thought of this movie since you've never seen it. But that's a little sneak peek.
Wait, you never seen No Country for
No,
Old Men?
he's never.
I'd never watched this movie.
I was trying not to ask him.
Wow.
I was trying not to ask him before the pod, but I was like so curious. He knew nothing about this movie, right?
Yeah, pretty
For
much.
once,
No.
There's a movie that you haven't seen.
A lot of
I
it.
haven't seen a lot of movies.
A lot of these Coen Brothers movies I've never seen.
Yeah.
What else have they done?
Well, I mean,
Fargo, Big Lebowski.
I didn't even see either of this, so there we go.
those are some of the bigger name ones.
I was thinking like some of them.
Then,
I mean, this is one of their biggest.
yeah,
This movie.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm trying to think what else was like pretty big.
I mean,
because some of the new ones aren't really.
some of the other ones, some of the others we watched, like some of them we liked,
True Grit is pretty big, but I never seen it.
True Grit.
I haven't seen
forgot
it.
about True Grit.
which that's
Yeah.
like
I
a
didn't see
remake,
it.
right? That was
Yeah, that's
I
an
haven't
old
seen it.
movie. Yeah.
I haven't
Anyway.
seen it.
All right. So our synopsis:
Mm-hmm.
violence and mayhem ensue after a hunter stumbles upon the aftermath of a drug deal gone wrong, and over $2 million is in cash near the Rio Grande.
Mm-hmm.
Right. This is the funny thing is all these movies, they're the same people, directed and
Yep.
written by Joel and Ethan Coen, and then the cinematography is Roger Deakins, which that part I love.
Oh yeah.
The music by Carter Burwell. Like it's the same people every time.
Oh, wow.
No music, you mean, by Carter Burwell?
Hmm?
No music by Carter Burwell.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, because the movie doesn't.
he's listed in there.
No,
in the credits.
I'll point it out, but
it's
literally
not-
there's
yeah,
no score
but
in
normally
this movie.
there's. I
Yeah.
mean, that's like he doesn't do much.
Yeah.
In a lot of them. Just collecting that paycheck doing this.
As he should. As he
Doing
should.
work.
I know. I don't know.
It's your money, sir.
Man.
Hopefully they don't pay him like I feel like, do you pay by how much you have to write or what? Like I don't
I
know
need
how
to
that
talk to this man and be like, dude, how do you do it?
because it's like John Williams is like
Oh, he's going hard through the whole movie.
and then,
Like,
and then Carter Burwell's
Going
like,
to 11 with his music.
we'll sprinkle something in here or there. So this is, I think, impressive. It's only $25 million production cost.
That is very impressive.
Only 25 million.
Yeah, and the film before was 35 million.
Wow.
Oh,
That's-
right.
I can't believe I'm saying that. That's cheap.
Yes. That is cheap.
That's pretty
Especially the
cheap.
people that are in, the actors that are in this, too.
Yeah.
But especially given that it's a period piece, because those are
Yes.
expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot that it's a period piece.
Yeah, but they also
You cut down on that because of all the outside. Because we were talking
Yeah,
about that, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
True.
That kind of cut down on that as well.
Yeah,
'cause of, yeah.
right. Like then you kind of like don't have to do as much work if you're just shooting in the desert or whatever.
Mhm.
You know,
That is true. That is true.
But still very impressive.
yes.
Yeah.
So this won a bunch of awards.
Oh yeah.
for Academy Awards.
Mm-hmm.
Best Picture,
Mm-hmm.
Best Supporting Actor, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
Nominated for Best Cinematography, but did not win.
It didn't win.
He should have.
No.
He should have won.
Yeah.
I thought he won for this actually.
No.
I mean, actually, I can see why. Maybe
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see why.
I did not. What I'm curious, and I did not get a chance to look this up, is who won that year
Right.
for cinematography if he didn't win for this.
Was
2007. Yeah.
2007.
Avatar wasn't out?
Oh, that might have been around
Was
then.
Avatar out in 2007?
That sounds right.
No, because
This should not. Avatar should not have won.
I agree, but
no, no,
Because
2007.
No, I'm gonna look it up.
yeah,
No, I was 11 years old, and Avatar came out when I was like 18. Gosh, oh God, the time. That was
I know that's
17 years ago. Oh no.
I know.
I remember when this movie came out. No,
Yeah.
17 years. I finally
Also,
have it.
this is number 148 of the top 250 films on IMDb of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
All right, Pan's Labyrinth
Oh.
won for
I
Best
understand
Cinematography.
that.
Okay, that
because
makes
that
sense.
movie was beautiful.
Yes, it was.
All right, so
That was a beautiful movie.
I got him on our list too for directors.
Mhm.
Del Toro.
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
fantastic.
He is.
All right, so as you alluded to, and probably some of this budget goes to the cast.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Got some well-known names. We have Tommy Lee Jones,
Mhm.
which is the first time them working with him, right? He's the first.
Yeah.
And then Javier Bardem,
First time for him too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin,
Mm-hmm.
Woody Harrelson,
Mhm.
Kelly MacDonald, Garrett Dillahunt, Tess Harper, Barry Corbin, and Stephen Root.
Yep.
Any other names you recognize?
That's all of them.
But Javier Bardem and Tommy Lee Jones and the wife.
Yes.
The wife, I think, was a Nanny McPhee.
Yeah.
Of course, I would know that. I would know that.
It's the one guy, Barry Corbin.
Mhm.
Did you recognize who this person is?
Yes.
Who was he?
He was only in one scene, but do you know what
Yeah,
he's
I
from?
can't place it now, but yeah, I did recognize him when I was watching.
Is that the one that looked like Andy Griffith?
No, but Barry Corbin is the diabetes guy from the commercials.
Wait a minute, you specifically recognized him from that?
Yeah, I mean he's been in a bunch of movies, but I love that those old commercials because he's
I remember that commercial. Diabetes. You suffer from
Diabetes.
diabetes. He made me scared of diabetes. Like he's scared because of him.
it's like just say the word right.
Oh my God. Here we go.
No, actually he's been in a lot of really good movies too. But I just had to say that.
I don't think I
You've never seen that
You
commercial?
remember that commercial?
I can't. Right now, I'm not.
Or was that
having-
after your time? Maybe.
That was supposed to say, that's a kind of a millennial thing.
Yeah, you're right on the. No, you are.
That might have been like. What do you mean after my? I mean, the commercials were still around. After
No, but I
turned
mean
an
when it
adult.
was
Wait.
like in heavy rotation on TV.
Like, was it like during Saturday morning
I
cartoons?
don't remember.
It was like evening because I distinctively remember sitting at my
It was
grandma's
evening. Yeah,
at the dinner table.
yeah.
In between SpongeBob, this man talking to me about diabetes as I eat mashed potatoes and greens.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so scared of this.
It sounds even scarier because of the way he said it.
It was. I was like, why is he talking like that, bro? Like, so we get him smell.
Oh man, no, I don't. I'll have to look it up after because yeah, that-
If you'll definitely be like, oh yeah, this is, yeah.
All right, so we kind of alluded to earlier. This is my first time watching this movie. I've never seen it before, which I know
Surprise, surprise.
surprising to some people.
It is surprising.
What about you guys? What are your Seen it a handful of times, lots of times.
This is my second time
Okay.
because I don't like crime.
Mm.
I don't like crime movies, but I don't like realistic crime movies.
Mm.
And when I was doing my reading a couple articles on the movie, they said that Javier Bardem's portrayal of a psychopath was one of film's most realistic. He scares the crap out of me.
Yeah.
He scares the absolute. I don't like that.
Yeah.
It just makes me.
Yeah. No, he's definitely.
I actually had to turn off the movie. I got like an hour, and I got an hour and some change in, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I can't do this one.
It's insane what he did with this character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you over there?
I mean, I don't know the exact number of times I've seen this. I was just guessing at like 15, but I don't know.
Several.
Like
Several.
like back to back, or like,
No,
hey, I
just-
haven't watched it in a month.
Yeah.
Like
So I watched it obviously this past week, and then before that, I think a year ago, and before, I guess probably once a year, because I think I watched it past couple years once or so. So
Well, if you
Yeah.
watched it once a year since 2007.
that's about 15 times because 2007
Wow,
was
okay,
17
mate.
years ago.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
We're getting up there, Jared.
I know we are.
I just
I don't know. I'm still young. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, true. I guess
Right.
it's before your time.
Yeah,
That's why I don't know the ad. Yeah.
yeah. Josh wasn't born yet. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah. You go first though,
all
Josh,
right,
because
so
I'm very
I
curious.
I'm very curious.
I really like this movie. I did
Awesome.
really like this movie. I mean, the performances are fantastic. I think the cinematography was fantastic. I will say, I still think I like Fargo better, and I think kind of reason I think the ending and kind of how this one ends wraps up versus Fargo. I think I like Fargo better. But
This is a very contentious ending.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people love this movie, but then hate the ending.
yeah,
Because it's realistic. I feel like there's no. I think the one thing I like about this movie is the fact that it's a very realistic situation.
Yeah.
And it's a realistic ending. There's no way he's gonna get out of that.
Mm-hmm.
There was no way him, his wife. Well, obviously him and his wife are gonna get out of that.
Yeah.
And it's his fault, but I'll talk about that later.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I do have a question. So, did you know about this movie and like, I guess you just didn't like watch it, or like was it like it just was never on your radar to like, oh, like I'm not gonna.
No, I mean I had heard that it was.
You've heard the
good.
name, right?
Yes, and like
Yeah.
I've heard I know one guy I worked with for a long time ago, but he worked for a little bit while at High Rock with me, and he did some video production, but he I remember him saying it was one of his favorite movies of all time. Like I should watch it, and
Mhm.
so I mean, like I think. He's probably not listening, but like I think he even like had me borrow the DVD, and then I was like, I made a copy of it, and I'll get around to watch it, and then I never watched it.
You borrowed the DVD.
Because he was like, you gotta watch it. I'll bring the DVD in, and then like,
Nice.
and then because you can like rip
Yeah.
DVDs.
Oh,
in.
yeah.
So like
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just rip it in and give it back to you, really intending to get around to watching it, and never got around to watch it.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
It'd be
So,
like that.
but I'd rather do that than like hold on to somebody's DVD forever, right?
Right.
So I was just like, let me do that and get it back to you, and then
It's one of the reasons why it's fun to do this, is so you like forces you to
it's-
watch.
Bucket list movies.
yep.
really enjoy being forced to watch things I would know I'd never watch otherwise,
Right.
and then in finding gems. I mean, like,
Yeah.
both. I think the two that stand out most to me so far that we bought is the
For Coens.
Yeah, for the Coens, is Hudsucker Proxy, and then The Man Who Wasn't There.
Yes.
Both those are movies I didn't know. Never even heard of them,
Me either.
and then were both pleasantly surprising and interesting and cool in their own ways, like differently. But
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, this one's like one of those. It's like not surprising that it was good and
Right.
stuff,
Yeah.
but because I heard about it. But yeah. And then the other thing, I just couldn't help but think of Sicario watching this.
Sure.
So I
Why?
mean, you
Actually-
have the same actors, And then you have the same cinematographer, and some of those opening scenes,
Mhm.
the cinematography of the landscape
Yeah, there's a
looks
lot of same,
very
Same.
similar. And yeah, I know came before it,
Yeah.
10 years before it, but like
I would. Yeah, I'm sure Villeneuve took
Yeah.
some inspiration.
so like
from
yeah,
this.
I mean in reverse, from the
Yeah.
he probably or I mean let's be honest, Roger Deakins like filmed this,
Oh,
then 10
sure.
years
The
later
same-
he's like, well, I know how to make this look good. I've done this
Yeah.
before. So
That is true.
you know, I'm not. And then like I said, you have Josh Brolin and Javier Bardem. Like,
No, Javier Bardem's not in. It's
he's not-
Benicio del
that's-
Toro.
it's
Yeah.
Benicio del Toro.
Mhm.
Never mind. All right,
Yeah.
that's my bad.
But no, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he's Josh Brolin. Is this the first?
For some, he's working with these guys too, right? Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah, Josh Brolin, right? Is this the first time? Yeah,
I don't think he's been anything else before this.
Okay, yeah,
So actually, it's a pretty open or new actors. that
yeah.
I'm
They
work
didn't
with.
bring back a lot
because
of.
that's normally what they do.
Right.
They bring back a lot of the same talent.
Well, the only one is Stephen Root,
Yeah.
right?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I mean, he's also only in one scene, but like in some of the other movies,
It's so,
too, it's just,
to me, it's so funny to see him in all these like more serious roles because
I know.
because I know him as a stapler guy in
From
the
Office Space.
So it's
Yeah.
always interesting to see. But yeah, he's good.
What's your history with this movie?
I have the DVD at home.
Nice.
I just was too young because not 2017, but 2007 I would have been like 11. So my parents were like, "You can't watch this."
Yeah.
I didn't watch it until I think I watched this movie like I'm gonna go ballpark like 5 years. It was years ago that I watched it, and like I said, I don't watch crime movies because I will stay up at night. But I remember watching this movie and being like, "What the heck is going on?" And just being spoiler alert, when like Llewellyn dies, I'm just like, "Wait, nuh-uh." And my dad was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Huh?" And he's like, "Yeah, like Llewellyn's dead." I'm like, and so I just remember watching the movie, and like some movies like leave you feeling like heavy, but this movie was like, it left me feeling like this is I hate it because it's realistic.
Yeah.
The whole movie, like it just tells you a story and it just puts it in your face. I like that there's not a lot of music to distract me. Like I just remembered that just being kind of like, this is a situation, this happened. But this time going around, because once again I remembered a good chunk of the movie. This time going around, I was like, all right, like what are the themes with it, and like actually like diving deeper into it, and I was like, dang, like this
There's a lot.
it's a lot, and I'm like, this whole situation didn't need to happen, which is what makes it worse.
Right.
It makes it worse.
Yeah.
It's a mess, actually. It's a piping
It's a
hot
very
mess.
big mess.
A hot mess.
Yeah. So did you like the movie more or less this time, or how did you feel about it this most recent time?
I think it's a great movie. It's a great movie. I have to say I like it more because I think it's actually a big learning lesson to mind your business.
Yeah.
Because if you don't mind your business, the cartel is going to come after you. And so is Javier Bardem with a bowl cut. And that's frightening. The cartel and a bowl cut guy.
Yeah, dude, the haircut. All I could think of
Oh,
was
yeah.
Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber.
Have you seen any, like, there was a lot of memes spawned from just his character from this. Like, did you ever see any of
I
those,
guess I
Josh?
probably haven't.
Okay. Because, yeah, I mean, the hair, his hair in this is very iconic. And it just adds to just how,
Creepy he is.
It's because he
Yes.
reminds me of Jeffrey Dahmer.
yes.
That's what and I realized, I was just like, why is this guy
or
giving me
or
the
Lloyd
ick?
Christmas.
or Lloyd Christmas.
Ooh. It gives me the ick, like because I think because, and I think that this is like, I guess the central theme is that they always called, it was Woody Harrelson and Carla Jean called him like, you're just crazy. Do you have any idea how crazy you are? And like that quote stuck out to me the last time I watched it, and I was like, that's so dumb. You're bargaining with the serial killer. But then with that in mind, when I was watching this go round, I was like, he's bananas.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, he's just batshit crazy. Like,
Yeah,
he's bananas.
Well, yeah,
That's
I mean,
creepy.
because it's like it's like they're like, you know how crazy you are, and
He's just like,
yeah, he just like, I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
like,
Yeah,
it gives me the jeepers.
Well, he just
creepers.
has a very strict code, and that's it. There's
Yeah.
nothing else like to him or anything going on in his head. It's just that
code.
that very binary
Mhm.
50-50, and that's it.
And I think it's just so how easily he's just able to take life.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, I mean, there are literally people like that.
Yeah.
And it's frightening.
Well, and also what you were saying about when Llewellyn dies is like, that's one of the many things why I love this movie, is because we don't even see him die, and it's very realistic. This whole movie, like you were saying, is very real. And you think like, oh, this is our main character, and then you just see him in a scene and he's just dead.
He's just gone. And I'm like,
Yep.
when he's going to get up.
Right.
I was like, wait, he's going to. And I was like,
But I
he's
mean, that's
dead.
unfortunately that's real life. So it's, yeah, they do such a good job with just all those aspects of it. Just feeling like, we talked about Fargo, and what was the other one that like felt really grounded compared to all their other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like, this is like,
Well, I feel like this is yeah, you're right, because well, it would be the man who wasn't there. That was
yes,
didn't have any, because it's like when they finally dial back the goofiness that they
yeah,
try to
because they
put,
always do a little bit of silly, yeah,
they always have this like silly stuff that they mix in some of the other ones, and it's like it just always feels off a little bit to me.
Yeah.
And unless, I mean, in some cases like The Big Lebowski, it just fits right in, but that's because the whole thing is.
yeah, that one was great.
But yeah, but there's always like a little bit that's just like goes too far in some other cases. But the yeah, but like the ones when they finally dial that back,
Mhm.
and it's like, man,
And it's not like there's no humor, because even in this movie there is
Yeah.
a little bit of humor, but it's not that silly cartoonish,
Yeah.
that they try to put in their other movies.
No, it's kind of it's kind of sad, dry, and just kind of like,
Yeah.
it's wry. That's what it is. It's
Yes.
wry humor. And it's just kind of like, it just makes it worse.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, damn. Like, watching this, I was like, this is a very real situation. Someone's probably done this.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has probably done this. And it's because I think it's like at the turn of the 70s, like when like they started to have like the border wars, and then like really
Yeah.
having like issues with the cartel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of like, dang, like this is kind of sad. Like,
Yeah, they don't put it on the screen, but they mention,
we
I
talked about
believe it's 1980.
yeah, it's 98 because the coin.
is it 80?
Yes, because
Oh,
the coin.
that's right. Yeah.
He tells him, "Do you know what year this?" And
Yeah,
it's
and he
22
says-
years ago, and it's
Yep.
like it's 1958.
Right.
So like it means it's 1980 is the actual
1980.
yeah is
Huh.
the year of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like 75, but not. Okay, yeah, 80s.
I mean, it's because
Yeah.
it's still, when you go into a new decade, it's like it still feels very 70s, because it's
Right.
you don't really get into that 80s feel yet.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I think this movie is a masterpiece, and it is in
It
my
is.
it is in my. I mean, I say it's one of my favorite movies. It's in top 10, I would say.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would go that far.
I was gonna say, is it in your top 10?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
No.
I would suggest watching it more than once.
Yeah. I mean, I
Too,
think I would.
'cause
Need
I
to,
would-
I
Yes.
think I could stomach it.
I think I would have to even like start to appreciate something.
Well,
at that
yeah.
level.
Every time I watch it, I like it more, for sure.
But like
Mhm.
I just got off of like I would put like Sicario
Mm-hmm.
and even Arrival and like some of the Villeneuve's
Mhm.
movies above this. Personally.
Villeneuve has a lot of
You would put The Arrival with Amy Adams
yeah.
above this one?
Yeah.
I would
Huh.
see. I wouldn't put that above this one, but like Dune and Blade Runner, that would be
I
higher
was gonna say
higher
Dune,
than
yeah.
this.
Yeah, I was gonna mention those as well, but
Yeah.
like when I was, but like, yeah,
Wow. Okay.
I also think the way they build tension in this movie
Mm-hmm.
the whole way through is one of the best in any movies I've seen, and they use it, and they do that without any score at all,
Mm-hmm.
and it just continues pretty much the whole time. Like, it doesn't really let up at all. Even if there's a scene where you think like, all right, we're safe right now, it's like,
Never say.
yeah,
no, I mean you're right. Like, so one of the things, one of the notes, because I mean it is like, I don't disagree that, I mean it's hard to pick a best scene or two because
Yeah.
there's like so much that's good in this movie, but like the tension when he's at the first motel.
say both of motel scenes are
Yes,
some
but
of the
the
best.
first motel
Yeah.
when he's like when Sugar, is that-
Anton Chigurh, yeah.
yeah, Anton the Sugar, it's like spelled weird. That's what I was like.
I know, because he says what? He's like sugar.
He's like sugar. He's like sugar.
Well, it's also weird because there's like the TV show right now.
Yeah,
There's a
I
guy
know.
who's named Sugar, so it's like, anyway, he
Of course, he has the weirdest name, Anton Chigurh.
But
Shakur.
I
Yeah.
think what was wild is the author, they were like, oh, so like what's his like nationality, ethnicity? He's like, oh, it's just a cool name. And I'm like, bro. Which is
That's what
ironic.
he said? Is
Yes.
this? Oh, okay.
Like, okay.
Just a cool
Sorry.
name. Is it a cool name? It definitely sounds like a serial killer name.
Yes. Yeah. So I was going.
Yeah, sorry, yeah,
what I was
the
talking about was
motel, first
the
motel
first
scene.
motel when he's
Yeah.
finally going to the room that he thinks
With the tracker.
he thinks he's in, and then really he's in the room behind it,
Mm-hmm.
and like the tension they have in that whole thing is insane.
Yeah.
But then, like you said, then the other motel at the end.
They're literally face to face through the door.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But my thing is, what didn't he, when he got the three guys in the first motel, did he go to 137? He went to the one, the room next door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He looked at that first.
Which is ironic
Yeah.
that they were all people, that they were cartel people.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, well, technically then that adds to the danger, because then that means that they were tracking Llewellyn too. Right?
Maybe.
I mean, that's,
'Cause
they don't
that
really
was
say,
They don't
but
say
that would
why
make
they
sense.
were there, but it makes
Yeah.
sense that the other people were trying to track him.
Mhm.
I mean, because I didn't realize.
Because remember they asked like something about more than one tracker or like the
Oh, they
transmitter.
do, yeah.
Well, I think there was more than one person on Llewellyn's tail, because
Yes.
this is another thing. The first time I watched a movie, I just thought it was Javier Bardem. I did not put two and two together that Javier was tracking Llewellyn. I just thought somehow they got involved, and for some reason I just missed that detail.
Oh, okay.
So this time the story was deeper,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh. It's so crazy because the situation is just even more dire, because it's not just Javier on his tail fin. Then it was Woody Harrelson had that corporate boss guy.
Yes.
Then the cartel was tracking his mom.
Mhm.
And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
because those three guys were probably there for Llewellyn, tracking the money if they were in the room next to Llewellyn's. And I was just like, wait a minute. Like,
Yeah.
that's like
Also,
like, why did he?
also
why did he do
the oh wait, never mind. I'm gonna say that for cinematography. I was gonna say the never mind.
Well,
there's
now
a
I wanna
lot
know.
of good there's a lot of good shots. It reminded me because it's literally him driving up to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna. So when they're with the boss man, like the one when he's there and he's like, "There's a missing floor. I counted 13, and there's or whatever." Like, okay. And he's like, "We'll look into that."
Mm-hmm.
That was funny. Like funny,
That-
creepy
that-
thing to say.
That like exchange. That's a very Coen Brothers exchange. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's where, because honestly, there's not a lot of points in this movie where I'm like, oh, this seems like a Coen Brothers movie. Like, this is very out of the ordinary for them, I would say. The closest to it is Blood Simple, I think I even mentioned this movie when we watched that one. You know, they're both in Texas, kind of around the same time period too, actually.
Yeah,
Right?
I don't remember when Blood
Oh,
Simple.
well, I mean, it was present day for when that movie came out, which was 84. So 4 years later, but yeah. But yeah, it's
the freaking air gun thing.
Ugh.
that he walks
Iconic.
in- Well, yeah,
It's iconic, but it creeps me out because I'm like, did somebody?
I love it.
I just want to know. Did the
It's so
author-
unique, though.
It's
Just
unique. But I always think, did somebody do this?
yeah. You mean like so
is
Cormac
this-
McCarthy that writing the novel, like if he took it, yeah. I feel like
there is no way
for sure.
this is not based that somebody did this,
Yeah.
because this movie weirds me out.
I feel like it has. I feel like it has to be not only like the air gun, but the person himself. Like I think the whole thing. Like I'm sure he had something based on it when he was writing the novel.
Because I'm just like, I mean, it was iconic because that was a detail that stuck out from the first time I watched it. I was just like, what? And then I'm just like,
It's like one of the first things you pick up on. You're like, this is so weird. Why is he using it this way? You know, but I mean, it's very effective, but it's also just like so random that
it's
this is what he's
random.
using. Yeah.
And well, I think like it's like,
you don't have to reload.
but it speaks to his philosophy. People are like sheep,
Mm-hmm.
and or not necessarily sheep, but livestock.
Yeah. Yeah.
That they have no worth to him, and he maybe sees himself, because I feel like he does kind of have an inflated sense of self, where I feel like he kind of, well, in the book he seems like he's above fate, and that's a
Right.
detail that's in the book, that he's kind of somewhat of the mastermind, and so people are kind of the livestock that he can shepherd into whatever. So I feel like that's kind of the connection with the
No, yeah, that's perfect. Because the sheriff even explains like that and like why or what that is actually used for with livestock and that. So I mean that, yeah, I never thought about that. That's good. Yeah, why he would use that. Also, it's like the combination of that with his like massive silencer on his shotgun. You know what I mean? Like it's just,
Yeah.
like I feel like everything that has to do with his character, even when I first saw this movie, is like what stuck out the most. Like everything involved with him. It's just great. I love it.
Great. It's weird. It leaves me with a bad, like, have you ever tasted something and there's like an aftertaste back there and you can't wash it out with water? That's what this movie gives me, an aftertaste.
Yeah. So wait, you said there was it a leading role or supporting that won for this?
Supporting.
Okay, was it him?
Yeah.
Okay,
I was going to say, yeah, he
figured,
had
yeah.
to have won.
but I guess he is supporting. He's not. Yeah. Okay.
But I almost care about him more than I care about Llewellyn,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which is interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like Llewellyn doesn't get development. He's not developed, I feel.
No, he's just kind of the. I mean, I have a specific note I'll get to later of like the exact moment where like basically he decides and then everything kicks off. Like he's kind of just, he's what starts all of this, and then we don't even see him go through the end with it too.
Mm-mm.
And I mean, it makes also the scene way more impactful when Anton Chigurh visits Carla Jean afterwards,
Mhm.
which I think is one of the best scenes of the movie. But yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention also that I think this movie ultimately, really the main character is Sheriff Bell, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the movie, and obviously it makes sense because they end the movie on him, and I think it's mainly him kind of like coping and finding his place in this world now, because he talks about so much about how like he doesn't understand the evil in this world now and like how people kill, as opposed to like when he was, because he's thinking about retiring, but like back in the day when he was in his prime with his job, he he said it was just very different. And in like almost every scene he's in, he keeps recalling all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to like, I think, well, I don't want to get into it too much because that's going to be also another category. But I think that is a big thing, is like this new kind of generational evil that's starting in the world compared to what he's used to his whole life before that.
Yeah.
I actually beg to differ. I think
Really? Okay.
I beg to,
All
I
right.
had to think for a second. I actually think. Roll with me here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the main character isn't any of the physical characters were presented. I feel like they're all a part of the whole.
Mm.
I feel as though the main character is abstract, which is just how crime evolves and how it affects people. Some people can retire and run away from it. Some people contribute to it on purpose or like a greater evil. Some people are like a chaotic neutral, like I guess, well, and maybe it's like some type of chaotic neutral, but affects him negatively. Carla Jean is collateral damage. And Woody Harrelson is someone that's involved with it. Chaotic good.
Right.
And I feel like that's kind of, it's evolving, I guess, crime.
But yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And that's still kind of similar to what I was talking about. Like you were talking about like kind of the evil or the way that people are now like murdering people or whatever in this new way is, that's definitely a big thing with the movie. Because I have a big thing about the ending, since so many people hate this ending, and I actually love this ending of the movie. I have a big thing about the two generations and what his two dreams are about. Because I'm wondering, did you? Yeah, so you hated that, didn't you? That it ended like that. Is that the part you did?
Hated it, but like
Okay. Most people do that. Like,
but
that
it's
I
like
talked to
I
about
was
this
like,
movie.
I don't know if it was like kind of like not really feel like it was the strongest way to end it, but that was just
it was intentional. Yeah.
And well, it's like there's two parts of the going off the things that, like, there's the fact that, like, we've already talked about, like, Llewellyn doesn't get to fulfill what he was doing, like, whereas like your classic story, he would have gotten away with it, survived, almost died but survived, and the other guy, the Sugar.
Sugar.
he would have died. They would have had the like showdown at the end, and they both would have came close to death, and then the bad guy would have died, and then he would have ended up with all this money and gone and lived happily ever after with his wife, Norma Jean.
Carla
Jean.
You said Norma Jean.
Carla Jean.
Not Marilyn Monroe.
And so like those are kind of
that version of the movie like would suck compared to what this is.
Totally
the very stereotypical. But I know what you mean.
Like,
yeah,
I don't know. See, like I wouldn't say it suck, because like if you did everything the same up to that point, but then it would just like all up to that point the movie be the same.
Right, I got you. Yeah.
I mean, so in rewatching it, you might see it through a different lens, but because it's how it ends or whatever. But so it's like how you want to play out, and do you want a happy ending, quote unquote, or not, right?
Right.
So they choose to go with the air out that, like, and I agree with you what you said, like it's probably more realistic. It's probably what would happen in real life. He wouldn't have been able to do it because this guy is just crazy, and he would have killed him.
But the cartel would have gotten him. The cartel would have gotten him.
Somebody else.
For sure.
Yeah. The and then like I do like still having like that the random car scene with the car wreck after that, where he like basically breaks his arm, whatever, and even negotiates for the shirt from the kids.
Yep.
So like it's like that, but then,
That's the last time you see him walking off.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then we end on Tommy Lee Jones' character, and then it's like, but that part is what kind of his thoughts and his comments. I don't remember them word for word by no means because of being only the first time I watched it, but you kind of in that you're getting the whole sentiment of the whole title of the movie, right? Like
Yes.
yeah.
But also, I want to add to that. Llewellyn, so Tommy Lee Jones's character, the sheriff, is the old man, but also Llewellyn is too, because I think this contributes into why he dies. So because he's a vet, he's not a young man; he's a Vietnam vet. Woody Harrelson's character says to him, like when Llewellyn's in the hospital, Woody Harrelson's character is like, because Llewellyn's like he's not gonna get my wife or whatever, and he thinks he's all big and bad, but Woody Harrelson's like, you don't know what you're, like, alludes to basically you don't know what you're doing, this isn't for you.
Right.
Because Llewellyn Keller has this, and this is what I say, his character doesn't really get much development because it's just, he doesn't stop to think. He never thinks, he just takes the money. But he has kind of this arrogance about it, like he just takes it and he kind of seems like, I have the situation handled. But he doesn't. He's not as, like, yes, he has military training. Yes, he was in the military. But he's not as sharp as he thinks he is. And he's an old man. And so the country, the crime, he becomes a victim of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is interesting, which I didn't see until now.
It's interesting what you were saying about Llewellyn not really thinking things throughout the movie, because the only time I think he does is actually the scene I wanted to mention at the beginning. When Llewellyn's laying in bed, it's right after he first saw the money. He's laying in bed, he's not sleeping, and then he just says, all right, and then gets up to go back, right? So like that, there he was thinking about it, right? But then from there, that's the point I was mentioning where like that literally starts it all. Like if obviously, right? If he didn't go back, but that's kind of that thing is that's where he really thought it through. But then after that, he's just going the whole time.
Going.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't stop. But then it also, I don't know, part of me is like, well, if he didn't go get the money, because I keep wanting to call him Anton LaVey. I don't know why, but Anton, because I feel like that's why he did that. Anyways, but I feel like, would he have met the serial killer? They would have had another run-in with the cartel some way, somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the whole fate thing. Because fate's big in the movie. I don't know. It's just kind of like, I mean, dang. I feel like he really like sealed it when he went back to get the money, because I think he was like, oh, well, it's a cartel scene. I could totally go get it. And I'm just like, you didn't think it's millions of dollars. Like, you didn't stop to count the money. You didn't just take 100.
No, and that's the thing.
5,000.
That's a perfect example.
You took the whole 2 million. Like, you're greedy. Now you're greedy.
He wasn't thinking, because if he would have even looked any further than that, he would have saw the tracker too. Like, he just opened it and that was it. Yeah. And then he would have, again, that's another thing. If he saw the tracker, he probably wouldn't have ever even.
Yeah. He would have gotten away with it.
Yeah.
Also, the cocaine vanished. So I want to know where the cocaine went.
Oh, yeah, it did.
The cocaine vanished. And I was like, that
Dude,
was
there was
unexplained.
so much cocaine in that truck.
Where'd the cocaine go? Like,
Good question.
And then there's like, I feel like because the movie doesn't hold your hand, so there's so many details where I'm just like, so did they go back to get the cocaine? They were like, oh no, the money's gone. Who were the two guys that came back with Anton that he shot? Because they look like the FBI. Who were they a part of the cart? Like, and who was the guy in the office? Was he part of the cartel?
Oh, you mean the very
edition?
beginning that he strangles?
No.
Okay.
No. When Anton goes back to the scene of the crime, goes to the cartel massacre, and he shoots the two guys. they look like FBI people. And I'm like, are they the FBI or are they cartel, the corporate version?
Oh,
Like, what?
I know you're talking about this.
You know what I'm saying?
Because then by the time the police come, they're like, these aren't all the same. This didn't all happen at the same time.
Right.
I don't.
Like,
I feel like they had something to do with but I don't know if they were.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen this movie a lot. I still don't know everything.
Because then you have Stephen Root's character that's in the suit in some tall building somewhere.
Yep.
And so like I'm sure whatever other goons he might have just been in suits and stuff.
Mhm.
Well, there's the accounting guy that like.
Oh yeah.
he was
yeah.
in accounting. So I'm just like,
Yep.
either way, I think one thing can be deduced. Llewellyn would have died anyways. We don't know who killed Llewellyn. So it could have been cartel. We know for sure it wasn't. Well, it could have been Anton.
Yeah, we don't know.
It could have been Anton. It could have been cartel. It could have been, and I think that ambiguity goes to show how bad the situation was because Llewellyn did not think this through.
Well, so another one, because that's why another reason why I like that scene is we don't know who killed Llewellyn, and then the scene later with Carla Jean, don't know either. When he leaves, what happened to her?
She dies for sure.
You think so?
Yeah, because he checks his feet for blood, and that was the thing.
Right. That's
he was
what I
always
think.
big about blood in his feet.
Okay. All right.
I
I think
definitely-
that too, but I'm wondering because like when I first watched this movie, I wasn't sure, but yeah,
I had hope that
they
he
kind
didn't,
of. I know.
but then I was like,
No, I assumed for the same reason,
Yeah.
like because he kind of checked his feet for the blood, so I assumed that meant he
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah, he killed her.
and plus in the book, the book that does it more interesting. I think he does a coin toss with her,
Mhm.
and he goes.
Oh,
heads or
instead of
tails.
her refusing.
Well, instead of her refusing,
Yeah.
and she calls it wrong, and she dies anyway,
Oh.
which is kind of worse.
Yes.
And I'm glad they didn't.
I'm glad they did it the way they did it. Yeah.
Like, this movie sucks. But
Yeah,
she
if they would have
died.
done it that's a good change, I would say, from the book.
That would've
the way
sucked.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is another opening narration.
Yes, I did. I
You
know
have a note
about
about that? Yeah.
Another opening monologue. Yeah.
This how many movies now
I don't
of
know.
theirs?
I don't.
So
There's
a
so
lot
many.
of Coen Brother
They,
movies just
they have
start with
opening monologue.
yeah. At least 5, I want to say.
Yeah, at least.
I like it. I think the
Oh, it's great
It
in
set the
this, yeah.
tone. I didn't pay attention the last time, but this time I was like, oh, he's telling us the whole story.
I also
like it.
I love Tommy Lee Jones anyway, but I think he's so good in this.
He is great
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
I love it. And plus those, well, I guess this goes into cinematography, but the opening shots with the kind of like, it's the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
So it's the lawlessness that goes with the monologue, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. So it's the only other thing I noted was like the I just had to know like it seemed like this, there was like no real female characters, like it was just like the little ancillary
Mhm.
like wife or her mom and like like but they're just like so like none of like the reasonable. I was it was just like that's kind of weird.
Yeah, is that how it is in the book?
But I mean, if it's a book,
I mean, I haven't read the book, but I would assume,
yeah,
or it seems the same.
yeah.
Because
Okay.
it doesn't really make sense for the story because none of the characters seem to be, except for literally the evil incarnate.
Right.
Tommy Lee Jones is developed. I think his character kind of goes on a journey.
Oh, definitely.
Everybody else seems pretty linear. They're kind of the innocent, the pawns.
Mm-hmm.
They're livestock. That's why.
Yeah.
Except for the greater good or the greater evil.
That's why I also think that Sheriff Bell is technically, or at least in my opinion, the main character because he is the one that actually goes through the most like character development wise, while like you said, everyone else basically stays the same, like to their core principle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
I have
Yeah.
this is actually a note I put in here that because I did not remember this line, so I found this is great. I'm still finding new stuff in this movie this time through. It's when Llewellyn first comes home and talks to Carla Jean.
Mhm.
And she says, "Where'd you get that pistol?" And he said, "At the Gittin place," which I thought was a great response. I don't remember him saying that, and it was good.
I thought that whole scene was petty. I'm like, and you...
Yeah.
Second time around, I was like, and you caused her murder.
Mm-hmm.
But you, Llewellyn, I was so upset with him. It's his fault. Like, I cannot get over this. Like, it's his whole fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't touch drugs. Like, don't do it. Mind your business. Take the 50 and run.
You heard, so you heard it here first, guys. Don't touch
Don't do
drugs.
drugs. Don't mess with that cartel. You see money, don't touch it.
Mm-hmm.
There is no free money.
There is no free money.
Very true.
Yeah. So cinematography.
You have any notes?
Huh?
Oh, you have any other notes?
Not really.
Okay.
I think we talked through everything I had.
One of my other favorite scenes is the Anton at the gas station with the gas station attendant. Like,
Oh yeah, I had that on here.
you did?
First-
Okay.
But like
This is one of the best
like
it's
the first coin
dialogue
toss
exchange.
too. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is the one I feel like you see the most because I don't remember who I was talking to. They're like saying, "No, I've never seen this movie, but I've seen that scene."
Mm.
Like, so like on TikTok or whatever, like that's like the biggest scene from this movie that people know even if they haven't seen it.
Because you see,
It's-
I think you can just see how bananas it is. It's just like he's really messing with him on purpose. And the guy is just, it's interesting to see the other actor's demeanor kind of go from like, you need to get out of here to like, he's
Terrified.
like, he's really genuinely scared.
Yeah.
And one thing I love about Javier Bardem's acting is how still he is. He's still to an eerie point.
Mhm.
Like he's still to the, like he's predatory. He's very, even when he like walks, because that was kind of a thing, is, well, that's cinematography, but
No, you're right.
like he like
His walk is very
he-
specific.
it's,
Yeah.
it's like he reminds me of Michael Myers.
Yeah.
That's what it was reminding me of, like because Michael Myers is so silent.
Mhm.
But it just, he just was, and then him eating the peanuts was like, how much have you bet on a toss? And I'm like, bro, I will never eat Planters again. Like, I was weirded out. This movie weirds me out.
It's just the dialogue in that scene's so good where he's like, "You've been putting it up your whole life." Like all that he says is just like, it's perfect. And I don't know if that's like word for word from the novel, but if it is, then that's amazing. I mean, I know Cormac McCarthy is he's one of the best writers. Actually, rest in peace. He died like very recently, didn't he?
Did he really?
I think so.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because I until the other book you mentioned, I was like, oh, I literally didn't know No Country for Old Men was a book.
Yeah.
And now I want to like go through.
I know, I
want
wanna
to
see-
It's good.
Yeah, I want to read that and Blood Meridian just because I heard so much about Blood Meridian
From
too.
TikTok. I learned about it from TikTok.
Yeah.
Yikes. That's a yikes book.
Yeah, it's
That's a yikes book.
yeah, there's a lot in that. Yeah. It like makes this movie seem tame
Like a
compared to
tearjerker.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I have, before we move on. Oh no, I have a note about what you already mentioned, the first hotel scene.
All the hotel scenes.
Yeah, I had
They're
the other
all
one in there
so
too.
good. The shootouts were amazing.
Yeah.
And also, R.I.P. to the guy that got shot, just trying to help Llewellyn. Because
Oh, yeah.
when he died, I was like,
Yeah.
he didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, he got him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean you're
Such a jerk, man. I don't like Anton Chigurh. He was terrible.
He's man, yeah. I don't know. I'm just I think that's one of the reasons why I revisit this movie so much, just because I'm fascinated with how Javier Bardem did this character and like is still. It seems like the kind of role like with Heath Ledger and the Joker that like really
Yeah.
would have messed him up, and it I don't think it did.
Mm-hmm.
At least not that I know of.
Because I feel like he's not, this might sound weird. He's not, obviously, yes, he's murdering people, but it's not like how the guy that played Jeffrey Dahmer had to go through all that crazy nonsense. It's not a grisly murder. It's a detached murder, if that makes sense.
No, that does.
Anton is a detached. He does not compute what's going on in day-to-day life. And so I feel like as an actor, it's kind of easy to kind of play predator and be kind of like, he's not like, it's not like American Psycho type stuff. It's very like, you're dead. So I feel like I feel like it would be easy to just detach from it all.
Well, and
that would add.
It plays into what you were saying about how he's so still too, right? And like he doesn't show anything on his face ever, like any change really at all. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You mentioned already basically the last scene of Anton. Yeah, we're with the car wreck.
Yeah.
Right. And he has the kids come up to him and he asks for the shirt. The kids, I think this goes into, I don't know, I might be looking too deep into it, but I think the kids show where I think is a big theme of this movie, where like the next generation of evil, I think showing the kids at the end being like, I'll just give you my shirt for free, you don't need to give me money, is like showing there's at least still a little bit of hope for the next generation, even though there is this whole new breed of evil that's coming in. Anyway, yeah, that's what and it makes sense because obviously this is the last scene we see of.
And then he passes on David because he gives them the money, and then they're like, don't want to share it. He's like,
they don't want to share it, and also they're lying to the authorities.
Right. Yeah.
But also plot twist, they had a brush with the serial killer, so they could have been next. Because he could have easily been like, toss a coin. How much have you lost on a game of flabberjacks or whatever? Your life. Something.
I like his catchphrase being "toss a coin" instead of "call it." It's like toss a coin to your Witcher. Remember that banger of a song?
Top the charts.
Yep. I also, just before we move on, I want to know what you guys think of the ending where he explains the two dreams. Do you guys think anything of that, or why the movie ends that way?
I didn't finish. Well, actually, no. I want to hear what you have to say.
Why? So what was your question? Is it what I thought of it? And
yeah,
why?
what do you thought of him explaining the two dreams?
Yeah.
And then the final line is, and then I woke up, you see his wife's reaction, and then it's credits.
Yeah. And
like, why did they decide to end on that, or what you thought of his explanation of that?
Well, I mean, I think it brings it full circle on, like I said, the title.
Yeah.
And like the kind of the idea of you keep talking about like you kind of, he's like too old, so to speak, to like deal with things anymore, and so it's probably good that he retired. But then also it's obvious that he in retirement doesn't know what to do with himself. So
it's also interesting that he mentions both of the dreams are about his father, but they're different.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely, I think that plays into it for sure. The title of it. Yeah.
I barely remember the ending because I couldn't finish the movie because I was just, it's not secondhand embarrassment that I get. It's just you're watching the train wreck and I know the train wreck is happening and I just can't watch anymore. I cannot. Like I said, I think stopped an hour and a half in. Good chunk of change in. But I think it just goes back to duality because he has two dreams and they're two, I think, different things. I don't know. I feel bad for the sheriff. Because he's genuinely trying to he cares.
Yeah, he's trying to make sense of it. Yeah,
he's trying to make sense of it, and it's just like it's just too big for you, man. And he's just it's kind of like one of those things, like he just has to accept it, that this ain't my battle anymore, even though I care and I want to make things safer. How can one sheriff in Texas fight the cartel? Like, you
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
Also, the serial killer is way smarter than you in your whole department.
I know it's
So you can't fight him. There's a corporation that's evil. I don't know. Like, it's kind of sad. But then
Mhm.
I'm like, and again, it's also speaks to, because the turn of the century with
Yeah.
crime, because serial killers started to kick up, especially in the 70s.
Yeah, that's
70s,
true.
80s serial killers. That's when people were like, oh, you need to lock your doors. And then think about it, films also started to get more violent. You had a lot more slasher films in the 80s. And so it's like a new, instead of it being like, it's the Wild Wild West, or people, there's still some really banana stuff that happens, but people still have that code. But now it's just like, it's acceptable. It's just something that we all live with. And it's kind of sad. I think that's why that I couldn't really watch the ending, because it's just like, dang, like it's just like, it's just the reality.
Yeah.
It's realism, and he has to accept it.
It's
know?
almost like it's obviously not a happy ending, but it's not like necessarily like a really sad ending too. It's just like melancholic, like him like thinking about his next chapter, which I think, does he mention, well, obviously both the dreams are about his father, which his father's dead, right?
His father's passed
Right.
on.
So he's thinking about basically, I think that's what the dreams are about too, is basically him seeing, because he talks about in the dreams about like chasing after his father and then seeing him again and knowing that he'll see him again. So basically, like, then that's the sheriff's next chapter, basically like dying and then seeing him
Who's
again.
the guy he goes to see in the wheelchair?
That is his brother, I want to say.
If that was at the end, I don't remember.
It's it's
It's definitely not his dad, because he mentions his father in the past tense.
Yeah. No,
in
it's
the beginning.
it's either his brother. Yes, I think it's his brother. Yeah. Which there's, man, I should have wrote it down. There is a line that Sheriff Bell says when he's looking out the window in that scene where he visits, that is so good. But
yeah,
I didn't write it down this time.
I think that that actor that plays the brother or whatever, did I have him on the list? I don't remember his real name off the top of my head, but it wasn't he the, you probably don't, the show One Tree Hill. He was like the coach.
One Tree Hill.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't
He
know.
was like the basketball coach, for the high school
Nice.
basketball coach in it.
And One Tree Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we've seen the movie, do we feel bad for Llewellyn? That's the real kicker.
I mean, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of, like you said, like it, or you said, one of you guys said, like, he had plenty of opportunities to kind of choose the right path, either not take any money or be like, if you take a little bit, no one's gonna care.
Mm-hmm.
Or just look through it so you can find the tracker. It's like,
I think he thrived off the drama. And that's the key.
Well, I mean,
because he seemed like he was really enjoying plotting. He was plotting. Why? He did too much.
Well, it's one of those things where, I don't know, like, is it also like, and I can't really speak to this, but like, in Rambo, where he just kind of, he gets put in a situation and then all of a sudden, like, he decides to,
to just go all out. But I'm just like,
so is it like, a little bit of the like, hey, I kind of am more comfortable in this situation because of being in war, to almost just like, that's easier than other, like, real life?
Well, I think so, because like, and I'm gonna say this final thing, like, we don't know why explicitly that he took the money. We just know he takes it. There's no, I'm trying to make my life better for my wife. She doesn't seem to benefit at all from it. He doesn't seem to, I don't remember explicitly him telling her about it till the end. She doesn't get a dress. She doesn't get anything. Like, they don't buy a new house. She does not benefit. It just seems to be very selfish about him in this scene, and him kind of, I gotta get this gun. I gotta protect my wife. Like, you didn't care. You wouldn't have put her in the situation. And so I feel like that's kind of like unpacking the movie more. It makes me so mad because she's collateral damage, and other people, well, even the hitchhikers and everybody else, that he technically endangered everybody that he came in contact with.
Yeah.
Everybody.
It's true.
Like, so I'm so upset. I'm so mad at him. It really ticks me off.
I'm just now thinking about the scene when Anton sits down with I don't remember Woody Harrelson's character's name, but when he sits down with him, right before he kills him, I think it's great because the whole time, like, right, the way he's sitting, you see the angle, right? He's in the shotgun right to him. So you're just waiting for him to shoot, and then so you're kind of like anticipating it, but then the phone rings first, and that's really loud. So like normally, like, that's what makes you jump first, right? And then he does it right afterwards. I think it was a cool decision to do it that way.
It made me mad. Again, here I am. I'm angry because I'm just like, that is just, he did that on purpose. Like, he's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he did that. He was just like,
yeah.
And then he just picks up the phone. I'm like, bro, I can't watch this movie. It's just bananas.
All right, yeah. Now we can get into, unless there's anything else, cinematography.
Okay. Cinematography.
I'm just saying I had the most notes, so I wanted to make sure to go over that first.
You're good. Talked about the landscape shots, especially early on.
Yeah, I had those down too, for sure.
The bridge shots at night. These cross the bridge. Those are cool. It's just like the lighting there, and really that hotel showdown, the one where it's a hotel, not a motel, right? Like that they're stuff
the
back
second
and forth.
one,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. And then at Llewellyn's house, when both Sugar and the sheriff both are there, and they sit down on the couch.
Oh,
he
yeah.
sits down for the milk.
Yeah.
And there's like this reflection silhouette that they
The
have
TV?
in the TV. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like in the frame them exactly the same when the one's there and the other one's there, and that was
great.
Yeah.
It was the three kinds: good, evil, and chaotic neutral.
Mm-hmm.
I just peeped that, actually.
And then there's and just the milk situation and he's like, it's still cold, like it's still sweating.
Yeah.
He was just here.
That guy is so dumb. The person that's with him. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
His remarks that he says.
Yeah. Well, it's it was funny because I thought about it, like, I mean, this is like not that different than Fargo. Just instead of snow, it's in the desert.
Yes.
And he's definitely like her partner.
For sure. Yeah.
That's like she's just dumb and clueless.
And they can't. I think that's why they can't keep up with the new crime.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say the shot. Yeah, at the end when wow, why am I forgetting now his name? I was just saying his name. Sheriff Bell. There we go. He at the end, right when he walks in where Llewellyn was killed.
Yep.
Right? And he's like, he kind of stands in the doorway. And he looks around. You see a shot of Anton also.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was also the different angles of that, but specifically the lighting. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The ending part?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Was amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, the lighting in all of this was, especially like once we get to dark and then all the different areas like you were talking about.
Yep.
When it's nighttime. Looked very good.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
The score.
Wait, I
those
got
shots.
one more.
I mean, the other ones I had, like, we talked about already, kind of in general.
Yeah.
So I kind of skipped over 'em. I know.
The
I was up at 4 a.m. today. I don't know why. Shouldn't have been.
I know we're getting to Josh's bedtime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost 9.
Oh no. I wish that was my bedtime. It's like 4 a.m.
Yeah, I get up at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Not if you go to
Sleep
bed at
at.
4. Yeah.
Sleep at 4.
Yeah. The shot. This is near the end. Oh yeah, right after he, Anton puts in the, how's he put it? He puts like a rag in there and into the gas,
Mm.
Yeah, Molotov cocktail.
and then he walks into the store. I want to just say I was surprised you didn't point this out. The framing of that shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then
No, it's cool.
yeah, I mean that's one of the most, like, as far as cinematography, that's one of the ones I think of the most from that movie. I think it was even in the trailer probably.
Mm.
That's what I think about the most.
That's like
Because even the way he's walking, like you mentioned, the way he walks in there
Still, it's
too.
just weird.
Yeah.
And like,
it's like because it's almost like he doesn't move his arms,
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Like he just kind of.
well, technically, because he just got shot.
Oh, that
too.
time, yeah, you're right. That's
He
right.
did
He
get
was
shot, however, but he didn't seem like he felt any pain.
No.
And just the way he just was like, and I was like, "Sir, are you good?"
Yeah, the only
Are
time
you
he even
okay?
like acts like it is when he's like gets in the bathtub, I think.
And
But,
he
like,
just, but it's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's very Michael Myers.
it is.
Well, no, technically he's after Michael Myers. The
Mhm.
movie's technically after Michael Myers.
Yeah. All right, that's it. Yeah.
And then the score you mentioned, there's not a score.
There isn't. No, that was intentional for this movie. But there is. There was 2 points in the movie where there's like this very, very subtle. It's almost like you can barely hear it. So this is how far it is in the background or buried in the mix is this like kind of like just droning synth sound that's over 2 parts of the movie. And yeah, so I mean it doesn't really count, but I'm guessing so that's all he did. I don't know, but I it's so low though. Like you barely can hear it, even if you're watching this movie at a very loud volume. So I don't know. I don't know why
Honestly,
that was the.
I think music would have ruined the movie.
No, I
Would've
think it was
totally been-
perfect for this.
I think it would have totally like been like womp womp.
I always
Right.
I always compare this movie to There Will Be Blood because
Oh,
that movie also is actually filmed in the same area and around the same time as this movie.
it was filmed in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't think I've seen There Will Be Blood. I only know one quote. I've
Yeah.
abandoned my boy.
Oh yeah, of course, that's the one. That's a good scene.
And I got that from a Barbie stop motion.
Nice.
Man,
Yay!
TikTok and the kind of stuff you're watching on TikTok.
Hey, TikTok
It's
feed.
cinematography.
Yeah,
Stop
TikTok
motion.
feeds get very very specific with the algorithm for you. Yeah.
Like
All right. Yeah, that's it. There's no.
yes,
But
and-
yeah, I agree. I like that there's no score in this. I agree. If they
yeah, it definitely adds to the ambiance and the way that you'd want it.
Makes
for-
it creepier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it creepy. Ugh.
And then I mean, any other thoughts on the? I just put down the inevitability of fate as like the
Oh,
kinda
the theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say
Definitely.
this. I think this movie is scarier than The Conjuring.
Mm.
I cannot stand realistic crime movies. It creeps me out.
Right.
It's that good.
I like those are some of my favorite movies is when they're very realistic. It's yeah. But I don't like movies like The Conjuring where it's just a million jump scares. I can't stand that.
I could take
I can't
those over
stand it.
this any day.
Yeah, I guess we already kind of went into the
Yeah, we
themes
covered it
a little
pretty.
bit.
Yeah, so
but
that's why. Same with cinematography. That's why I didn't dwell because which is totally fine. We just talked through it naturally instead of in the.
the two things I wrote down also, at least for this, is morality and change in general.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, talking about the sheriff again with that, and okay. Well, I wrote in here. I guess I kind of already talked about this. Yeah, the idea of the older generation's moral code and justice versus the younger generation or the newer generation's more reckless and unlawful way they deal with it and of morality, which the sheriff talks about a lot.
Yeah.
And then that also,
yeah, for sure.
That also plays into the name, which, what is the line he actually, does he say? He says "No Country for Old Men," but he says, what is the actual line? He doesn't say just.
There's a lead up.
Yeah,
there's a lead up. I think at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I think in his dream where he kind of wraps everything.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the lead up, but he says something. There's no country for old
right,
men.
Yeah.
You know, which goes back to the morals and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
So ready for some trivia?
Yeah, I'm ready. Josh is falling asleep.
Oh, there's trivia? Okay.
We
usually look look this up. Yeah.
Just look up a little trivia on IMDb.
I'm sure there should be some.
So, according to a 2018 article in Business Insider, a group of psychiatrists studied 400 movies and identified 126 psychopath characters. They chose Javier Bardem's portrayal of Anton Sugar as the most clinically accurate portrayal of a psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And they studied 100.
Because people really go over. They think that
right
in acting classes, they think to play someone that has psychopathy as like no, it's actually opposite. It's complete opposite, and that's why I said Javier Bardem's like knowing what I know now and watching it is just kind of like no, this is.
That's why I just
people like that.
Yeah, that's why I'm like I just surprised that he did this role and like he was fine after doing this role.
I want to know how he did it.
Right. Yeah.
This is cool. So when the directors approached Javier Bardem about playing Antoine, he said, "I don't."
He's tired. Leave him alone. His name is Antoine Sugar. Everybody, I know he's tired.
Antoine Sugar. Oh my god.
It's okay.
Yes, it is. It's after 9.
I know.
No.
Yeah. So when they approached him for the role,
for the one who would not be named.
Yeah.
He said, I don't drive, I speak bad English, and I hate violence.
Oh.
And they said, that's why we called you.
Oh.
Well, because it's not, he's not that violent, really. You add the blood later, really.
Mm.
So an unforeseen expense for the film was the makeup department buying expensive fake blood at $800 a gallon.
Whoa.
They used a lot.
How is it so expensive?
Joel Coen realized why they were spending so much when it came time to film the scene where Llewellyn stumbles across the aftermath of the shootout with lots of extra lying around.
And then the guy's arm.
Ordinary fake blood made with sugar would have meant the extras would have been crawling with bugs and ants while the insects had no interest in the expensive stuff. So they used the more expensive stuff.
Right. So then
what is that?
I don't know.
They don't
Glycerin? No, wait, glycerin's still sugar. I thought it was
I don't know.
No.
So Josh Brolin broke his shoulder in a motorcycle accident 2 days after getting the part in the film.
Oof.
In an interview with Now Magazine, he recalled thinking, well, I really want to work with the Coens as he flew over the car that hit him. His injury, however, turned out to be a non-issue since his character is shot in the shoulder very early in the film.
Wow, that was a great coincidence.
Fate?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sheesh.
How much have you lost in a coin toss? Full circle.
The Coens used a photo of a brothel patron taken in 1979 as a model for Anton. hairstyle.
What?
Oh yeah,
for his
yeah.
hairstyle.
Oh, the hair.
Because
Oh, okay. Yeah.
the hair was not it.
When he first saw
Hair
his
was
new
creepy,
haircut,
man.
Javier Bardem said, "Oh no, now I won't get laid for the next 2 months."
Some guy walks up on me that I'm smacking him square in the face. I'm sorry. Do not come near me.
I feel like he's like, it would be awesome just hanging out with Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
He seems like just so chill because the roles he does is so not chill. Like,
Well, because Skyfall, he was kind of a psychopath in that
Mhm.
too.
Yeah.
He kind of does the same stuff
yeah.
a little bit, which is ironic.
Oh, so Josh Brolin was working on Grindhouse when he got the
Hmm.
potential role. So he did his audition tape with the cinematic camera, theatrical camera, and Quentin Tarantino helped direct it.
Nice. I'm going to say which
And he got
Grindhouse
the role.
because
The 2007.
Robert Rodriguez did one of them, and then
We said Robert
Tarantino
Rodriguez was there,
one-
but
yeah.
like he barred the camera and so I guess Quentin Tarantino was there. They're both, and he directed them.
man, that's like the
It's like-
Could
the
you
best
imagine?
audition
Yes.
tape
I
ever.
better get the role.
Yeah.
Tarantino
Yeah.
directs me.
It's crazy. Yeah,
This
So-
isn't about Fargo.
well, here this right here. Tommy Lee Jones had the top billing, but had the least amount of screen time out of the 3 main characters.
Oh,
I wonder how much he was paid. $2 million.
The case holding the money in this film was the same kind used for the same purpose in Fargo. It did look the same.
yeah, I did. Yeah,
The case is the same.
But wait a minute. Actually, I do wonder how much everybody was paid because at $25 million. I mean, granted, it's not a big cast, but like,
Yeah.
were they paid $2.4
I mean, I would say in
million?
2007, Tommy Lee Jones definitely would have been the biggest. Like, so he definitely would have got
Probably.
paid the most
Probably,
in
yeah.
2007.
So Javier Bardem, first Spanish actor to win Best Actor in Supporting Role. for this.
Awesome.
And then composer Corberell's score consists of only 16 minutes of music.
16?
Yes, 16
So
minutes.
then how much
Hold
did he
on.
get paid?
That's what I'm
That's what I
saying.
want to
I
know.
hold on. I did not hear 16
I didn't hear.
unless
I
it's
didn't
over
hear
the
anything.
credits.
Oh.
No,
The credits have a music.
not that I remember.
The beginning doesn't have music. I don't recall.
That blows
But
my mind
wait-
that there's
but wait a minute,
16.
though. Didn't they have the TV on? They had a TV on. Does the TV sound? Does that count as?
That would be sound design, not music.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't. I mean, unless they need a song specifically
For on the TV.
for on the TV and they asked him to write it. But no,
That's
that would be
So
sound design. yeah.
Here's another reason why the budget was the production was very tight. Coen's only shot 250,000 feet of film. Most productions shoot between 700 and a million feet of film.
So a quarter.
So
one
how
third
do
to
they
a
do
quarter
that?
of what most,
So they just not do many takes.
I guess.
just-
I mean, but that's. I
If you
think
have all
that's
these good actors,
But
though,
I think
it's
that's the realism of it.
yeah.
It's. I mean, because most of the film is silent. The film doesn't have a
Mhm.
whole host of dialogue. I mean, I think most of the movie in the beginning is the still shots, the cartel.
Yeah.
Everybody's dead. He's walking. All he has to say is, "Oh crap!" You can't mess that line up unless you do.
Yeah.
It's pretty pedestrian, I think.
Oh crap! As he gets hit by a car on a motorcycle.
Yeah, I know.
What are you gonna do?
This did you think this going first time wondering because it's been a long time since I saw it for the first time? Like, were you very engaged the whole time, like pacing wise and everything?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, just
Because it can seem slow at times, but I
but
was
the tension's
never
there.
Yes,
and I mean, it's
always
yeah,
interesting.
It's well paced for the pacing. Like they keep it consistent and
Mhm.
they keep the tension going. So it's never like, well, what's gonna happen? You're more like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's because they don't like I was saying they don't really ever let up that tension, even in
Don't.
scenes where you think like, oh, Anton's not around.
He's around.
No.
He's
He's always around.
yeah, and it's
I think
mean,
that's what makes it uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's
and
uncomfortable.
it's definitely takes skill to build tension with no music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy that they
Yeah.
did it so well without it.
I think it's because because they said it in a motel, and motels automatically weird me out.
Creepy.
I'm being
Yeah.
actually so serious. And it's at night alone.
I want to say I would shout out the editing too. That's a
Mhm.
huge part of it. Especially
Which
like in
which
that
they
scene,
do
how
that-
they go
do
back
that part
and forth.
themselves too. So
Right. But I
Well-
mean, that specifically definitely in that scene, like with the motel, how they're cutting between it. Like, I think that helps build that a lot.
And even the nonverbal acting.
Yeah.
Because the nonverbal
That's
just
huge.
because even the hotel part, when Llewellyn turned the lights off, I was like, oh, he's scared.
Hmm.
He's scared. Even Woody Harrelson's part, I'm just like, oh gosh, oh no.
Yep.
well, final thoughts.
Watch the movie again.
Yeah.
You're not going to watch the movie again.
You
Probably
have the,
not.
Do you have
we
the
have
DVD?
the DVD. We still have the DVD. I should have brought it with me just for funsies.
Yeah.
And I think we've only ever watched it like
Yeah.
one other time.
Mm.
I'm not gonna watch it. again.
Well, yeah. At some point, I'll have to watch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll pick up on a lot.
Mhm.
I definitely did.
Maybe it'll take me 20 years to watch it again. No.
Or 2.4. That's the magic number.
Yeah.
That's the amount that Llewellyn stole.
Yeah, 2.4. Yeah.
But yeah, is this a movie you've seen a bunch of times? Or first time or never, and you just listen to us talk about it anyway? I mean,
Don't do that.
I mean,
Get it all spoiled for you.
yeah.
Don't mind your business. That's the lesson.
Don't-
Yes.
Mind your
That's
business.
your business. And don't mess with the drugs.
Don't mess with the drugs or the cocaine. It's not good.
The cocaine. The drugs, the cocaine.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to, you can email us at feedback@screentimepod.com.
Josh is tired.
And or you can leave a
Watch
message
another movie.
and comments on YouTube. I feel like you're just getting ready. You're just getting going.
Yeah,
You're
this is
like,
our second win.
this second.
I'm tired. I was gonna say it, but I'm super tired.
Yes. And
Yeah.
with that, you can follow us on Instagram.
Thank you, Cece, for
And yes,
Being
thanks
here
for
again.
coming in.
Yay.
Yeah.
third time.
Third time.
Third time's the charm.
Yeah.
Think
We have to do a comedy movie next. I can't
Yeah.
watch
Yeah,
crying.
you've had some heavy movies. Yeah.
yeah.
we
we
gotta
gotta- we
watch
gotta-
a comedy.
We gotta do some. Yeah,
Some comedies, yeah.
we'll figure that out and let you know. But yeah, if you'd like to follow us on Instagram, I'm at JYoungBar.
I'm as told by Cece.
Yeah.
And I'm at Jared Youngbar.
All right, and we'll be talking about
Oh, yeah.
Burn After Reading next week. Right. See ya.